I'm Todd Townsend here at Mobile World Congress 2014 in Barcelona for aNewDomain.net, and I'm here with Emilio Martinez. So Emilio's with Agnitio, and they make voice authentication software for devices. Emilio, tell us a little bit about what you're showing here.
Okay. Yeah, we all hate passwords. We all hate to put those names and passwords and long things that we have to put. We developed something that is able to identify who you are just talking, as I'm doing now. So essentially we create your voice ID. And your voice ID is a voice print that you can store in your device, very secure. And anytime you want to do a transaction, you just say something and the device will recognize who you are.
Now we're seeing a lot of biometric authentication these days. You have voice, we've seen eyes, we used to have photographs. In the beginning though, some of those could be, say, tricked by holding up a photograph of someone you're doing things. How is yours secure? Can someone just take a recording of a voice, or is there security behind that?
That's a good question. Actually, many of the technologies out there are very weak, and if you make a recording, you can get into. We have a very particular algorithm that is able to detect any type of recording. We have 4 patents of that. So if you try to record something, we can distinguish something that is being used through a speaker or is being something natural, is talking to the phone. Very secure. If we wouldn't do that, the police will not be using our technology that has been using that for 10 years already.
Oh, wow. So the police have been using this technology?
Actually, our main business has been with governments all over the world in the last 10 years. We just started with commercial applications in mobiles 1 year ago. And essentially, they were using that to catch the bad guys. Now we're using the technology to identify the good guys so that we don't have to go through very complicated processes to authenticate.
So it would be fair to say that your technology's already been vetted and tested then by some of the most difficult, demanding environments?
Absolutely, yes. And actually 10 years of experience doing all kinds of things with government institutions in the US. We have an office there, in Europe and Latin America. And it's being used as evidence in court as well. I mean, if somebody's making a phone call saying, I'm going to put a bomb, that can be used, that recording can be used to identify who is the guy. And it's being used by police all over the world. So now we are bringing that into commercial arenas so that you can use that to identify yourself into the bank.
As we know, passwords, everybody agrees that passwords are a weak link, and this sounds like an easy way for a consumer to have a super secure system on their device, as easy as speaking.
Absolutely. Passwords are at the same time weak because there's a lot of fraud with passwords, and it's a problem for the user. So it's the worst of both worlds. We believe that in the future, mobile phones, tablet devices, we have multiple sensors. One of them will be voice, but you will also have fingerprint, will have picture, and altogether the device will know who you are. We belong to an alliance, the Fast ID Online Alliance, in which we have companies like PayPal, Google, Microsoft, that are trying to bring all authentication into the devices so that everybody will have privacy to hold their own voice ID, their own fingerprint ID, and being able to authenticate with that into the cloud. So it's not only device authentication, it's also cloud authentication. Imagine your device will say, yes, I know who he is because he's with me every day. I know his voice, I know his fingerprint. Now you can do the transaction in the bank.
Now, can the user set specific phrases for authentication, or how does it work, and how long do they need to speak?
Correct. We offer different options. One is we offer fixed phrases that you can select in any language and will be offered by the bank, for instance, this is my bank or whatever. Or you can create your own passphrase if you want to do that. How long? It can go from I lost my password, which is a very short one, to longer ones if you want to have more security, like I lost my password but I still have my voice. So from I lost my password to I lost my password but I still have my voice, any kind of phrase can be used. Shorter will be a little bit weaker, longer will be very strong.
Okay, so the longer the phrase, the more secure it is.
You have more information about your vocal tract, so it's more secure. What doesn't mean that somebody will get into your system, is that you will not be rejected if it's a noisy environment. So if you want to do it longer, you will be able to authenticate yourself in all kind of environments. If you make it shorter, you may have a little bit of a problem in a place like this one.
Well, we're seeing a lot of companies on this, and it's good to see your company in this space as well. So we look forward to seeing where this authentication takes us in the future to make usability easier for everybody.
Absolutely. Authentication has to be stronger, but has to be simpler. We cannot torture our customers with complicated ways of authenticate. We have to find ways to do it simple. What is more simple than speak to the phone? That is what I believe will be the future.
Something very natural for all of us. Emilio, thank you very much for being with us. For Mobile World Congress 2014, I'm Todd Townsend for aNewDomain.net.